You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's WWE Monday Night Raw After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's WWE Monday Night Raw After Show.
Oh, birdie, birdie, birdie. Ooh, it's a little creepy
It's
right
a little
now.
spooky.
Check it out like this. I was gone last week, but now I'm back on track. So if you want this chair, I say you better step back. No slack for being gone. I was gone because I was working. Received a tweet request to see our cupcake twerking. No jerking around, this is serious. It's AfterBuzz TV, and this crew is delirious. Are you hearing this? We're buzzing after Raw with the greatest podcast recap you ever saw. No flaw in the function. The function is the intro. Introduce the co-host and do it with an ill flow. Oh, hey, what you saying? Resetting the nicknames, let's go with no delaying. Ryan Clum, he used to be the Colonel, but not anymore, cause names are not eternal. It's the time we're on the road to WrestleMania season. Not the voice of the voiceless, the voice of reason. Ryan Reason Clum, love it or leave it. Josh no longer Showtime, can you believe it? Showtime's not Showtime, what name should you know? His name's Josh Padgett, but call him Female Demo. Oh, we cruising like a fast car. Cupcake on the couch, hoping to fly under the radar. Superstar of the show, her thoughts are holding traction. Cathy Kelley is now fatal attraction. I got no nickname, I've got enough. I'm just like this show, soft and sweet yet rough and tough. GQ or Smiley, my name's Ryan Katz. Breaking down the show while spitting out some ill facts. A passionate connection like a raging summer fling. It's AfterBuzz TV, and we're brought to you by Bing. Bing is for doing, and we're doing another show. Check it out, yo, here we go. Oh. But I didn't have a rhyme set, so
no
keep that beat, keep that beat, so check it out. We gonna play a game, the game we will play, so let me introduce you to Kaori Takee.
There we go. Right off the top.
Very nicely done.
Man, the week of February 25th, Monday Night Raw, emanating from Dallas, Texas. And we started off, man, this was a hot episode of Monday Night Raw tonight. Woo! WWE pulling out the stops. This was on fire.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, if Alicia Keys was singing about it, she'd be like, WWE is on fire. No, it was strong. What's that look, Kathy?
She does it better.
Well, I mean, that's what she gets paid millions of dollars to sing, and I'm here
Be a
hosting
star,
a podcast.
not a bully. Why are you bullying him, man?
I told him earlier he looks adorable.
Oh, I'm gonna blush. So this is sweet.
And you totally did blush earlier when she said that. It stopped you right in your tracks.
Oh, I'm a smitten kitten. We start the show off with the chairman, man.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon, the man himself, coming down the rampway on the crutches, but he wasn't really ready to fight.
But he said he was going to
He had
fight.
the crutches because he believes he can just take out Paul Heyman like that. Called out the Ultimate Fighter, Paul Heyman. You were thinking, is that possibly a little jab or a little setup?
I was thinking a little prelude to Brock being the Ultimate Fighter, so I figured that might be a little hint
But Brock
of what
wasn't
was to
the
come.
Ultimate Fighter, because the Ultimate Fighter would have won the Ultimate Fighter, a separate TV show.
Well, the
He's
Ultimate
just
Fighter, Ultimate Fighting Championship. So,
Right.
yeah.
Heyman comes out telling Vince he's always a showman, but the fact is tonight the people are going to get to see a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. I think JR was hoping to be calling that so he can make that line right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't get into anything.
But
Did you
yeah,
guys have good weekends and stuff?
Yeah, great
All right,
weekend.
we're back to wrestling, baby.
I wasn't walking too well on Sunday, but and I think you can still see the shiner on my head.
He's got
You
this
have
little.
some bruises on your elbow too.
I?
Yeah, that one's all messed
Other
up.
one.
The other one's got some burns.
Oh yeah, I got
And then
some
you'll
burns.
notice there's a raised protrusion.
You could see it Sunday. He looked at me and he's like, "Did you get hit in the head?"
No
I'm
blood
like,
in
"Yeah."
your match though, right?
What's that?
No blood in your match?
No blood. Just a knee to the head and it's still really sore.
It's impossible.
I
Wrestling's
got a
fake.
bruised hip, a very sore left calf. I wasn't walking too well on Sunday, but I'm walking. Hey, I was in the gym squatting
Wrestling
today.
hurts.
I feel much. I was walking and squatting today. So
Anyway, Heyman's saying that he's finally got this opportunity, the fight he's always wanted against Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
He says that Vince, for this whole entire time he's been around, always portrays him as a limp, a wuss, and the biggest puss. But let him assure you, Mr. McMahon, that he is all man.
he's amazing on the mic.
And then he took a little cheap heat right there. A little Tony Romo plug right there. Saying
Yeah, I
the
didn't
chance
like
of
that.
beating me is as good as Tony Romo winning the Super Bowl. Yeah, man.
That's America's team you're talking about, Paulie. I'm a Heyman guy, but don't talk about.
Let me ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
They always say, when you get into greatest managers of all time, it's like Bobby Heenan, and then there's number 2. There's a huge drop, and then there's an argument over number 2. Do you think Paul Heyman at this point has kind of moved himself into that number 2 slot as kind of that manager mouthpiece role of all? I'm talking all time.
Based on the modern era.
Obviously he's not Bobby Heenan. There never will be another Bobby Heenan, but could he have jumped everybody else?
Based on the fact that he is the dominant and only and greatest manager of the modern era,
and he was around in a manager in that era as
he
well.
was rocking the Dangerous Alliance back in the day. I mean, he's definitely got his feet wet doing what he does. But I think that elevation of his levels currently
and did
would put him
commentary,
into
did
that,
all the things as well that Heenan did.
It could potentially put him up into that spot. I mean, you can definitely argue the number 2 point. I mean, I'd have to say you're in top 5 of all time for sure, hands down.
Hands down.
I mean, I think a lot of people are still going to argue that Jimmy Hart would take that number 2 spot. Probably.
I think there's a lot too, but Jimmy Hart didn't do the things that Heyman did.
No, absolutely.
He didn't really do the commentary. He was more of just a manager.
And Jimmy still didn't even do as much of the physical. Well, no, Heyman doesn't do physical. That was just a Bobby thing.
Yeah.
That's what made Bobby so great.
Bobby would actually go wrestle matches.
Yeah.
Once in a while, you get that one time a year when he would put the tights on and he would
Weasel.
get his ass kicked. Yeah.
A weasel match.
Yeah, I mean, this interaction between Heyman and McMahon there was an intensity there
fantastic.
because you knew that Heyman was really airing out some of his own laundry. You know, he's got this lifelong vendetta against Vince. That Heyman's of course happy collecting a nice big paycheck in the WWE right now, but I mean, it's the guy who put him out of business. I mean,
And that's the fun thing about WWE is when these guys can kind of put their little personal feelings in there, and they're true, and they're kind of airing dirty laundry out on live television, which is one of the things that makes it so cool.
Yeah, and everything I've always heard is that legitimately Heyman isn't respected too well backstage. That people do treat him like he's a second-class
Oh, really?
citizen.
I know Jim Ross doesn't really like him.
I think it's a fact that people think he's so egotistical and they think he's such a know-it-all that there's a lack of respect going around. I've heard a lot of stories. Obviously, the boys all generally like him and stuff.
It's funny if you watch that CM Punk documentary where Michael Hayes talks about back when Punk or when Heyman was pushing Punk and said that actually hurt Punk because people are thinking, is this just
it's a
Paul
detriment to your career to have him with you and endorsing you.
Right. Is he just trying to make someone who's mediocre better than they really are?
And that happens in WWE politically. I actually heard something today that was interesting regarding me. Like I was around some WWE people, but it was mentioned that I'm better off that my contract did get rescinded because if it didn't, I would have gone down there labeled as a Ty Bailey guy who was the exec there. And they're like, not a good label. People don't like the Ty Bailey guys.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, just working in television, I
shouldn't have said. I just shot on him all
Oh,
over
yeah.
Sorry, Ty.
But I mean, it's that way in any business. Like in television, I've worked in TV for 10 years, and when you're working on a show, you could be on a show that's a hit, and then management changes, the top of the network changes, and your show, which could be the best show on the network, all of a sudden that's not the show of the current management. They want to get rid of that stuff because it's not their what they came up with. So you see that anywhere.
Yeah. Back and forth verbal spat right there. Heyman having the best of McMahon pretty much, saying that, Vince, you've ran promoters out of business. You've even defeated the U.S. government. But believe me, if we fight tonight, he's going to take him for everything he's got. And then Heyman's like, but I got one more thing I just want to say to you.
This is brilliant.
And then he shoots for the single leg on the injured hip and an injured leg of McMahon. McMahon goes down, and then Heyman's got the crutch and starts going to town. He hits McMahon. McMahon down, but finally some time. Heyman, letting McMahon. He wanted to nurse the moment. Yeah. And instead, McMahon on his feet. Heyman goes to swing again. McMahon catches it, gives him a poke with the cane on the stick end, hits him with the cane.
And the crowd erupts and goes crazy.
Going crazy.
The size of grapefruit.
I mean, this guy's injured. This 60-something-year-old man who's injured with the hip replacement surgery. It took place just a couple of weeks ago.
And he hit him in the hip with
he
the
did.
thing, too. And that's like, he bent it right around the hip.
Unbelievable. That, God, it hurts so much, man. I mean, I don't know what kind of surgery.
What's he doing in the was it hip replacement?
He said hip replacement.
I mean, I know he needed that for a while, outside of the storyline wise, and that's why, they did this whole storyline thing. But for him to be back 2 weeks later and getting hit on the hip with crutches is insane.
Yeah.
That's Vince McMahon for you.
He's
right
awesome,
there.
yeah.
As Vince is getting ready to go to town again on Heyman, we get the music cue. Josh?
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
But we were missing the Brock Lesnar guy in the crowd.
Brock came on stage, and once again, the arena was amped, psyched, ready to see what happens. Lesnar makes his way down the ring and starts stalking Vince McMahon. You see him going after him. Vince, I think, rolled himself out of the ring because it looked like Brock was going to get his hands on him.
Yeah.
And then another music cue hit.
Somebody in the back's like, say, hey, Triple H, Vince McMahon's about to get attacked out there. Or give me my jacket, my water bottle.
I don't know. Yeah, this wasn't the COO, or is that
Is it him?
COO?
It's the game.
Is it?
Is it him?
Okay.
Is it him?
Oh, I don't know. I think I recognize that music in that
Motorhead is playing.
Titantron.
There's a huge Titantron that says Triple H
With his picture, with his video on there.
Can it be him? Is he here in the building?
Which, to me, was dumb, because the only reason to do that is if it's not him. Only reason to do that. But
Yeah, it was Triple H.
it was, yeah. Or are they trying to swerve us? No, it's him.
Looking sharp and dapper with his corporate
like it.
do, but looking mean and aggressive and intimidating as well.
It was the cerebral assassin. It wasn't the COO. He
No,
had
it
his
wasn't.
he had his gear on.
Leather
It is-
jacket, t-shirt,
yeah.
and jeans.
With Motorhead.
Was he in the leather or was he in the jean jacket?
I think he was in the jean jacket,
jacket.
right?
Yeah, he likes denim.
He's a denim guy.
Triple H is all fitted in
He's old school, man.
dungaree.
And speaking of denim, his jeans were a little wet when he jumped up onto
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar.
I
He
didn't
he had a
notice
wet
this thing.
spot.
Big old
He had a big
slats
wet spot.
Where?
In his on his
Right,
butt, like when he was bent over. Yeah.
Grundle butthole area.
Yeah.
he
It was
might
like a
have peed
perfect
in his
circle.
pants a little.
No, it didn't look. I mean, look, if you pee your pants,
I'm
it's like. I mean,
kidding.
that's like looks like he spilled.
was
A,
getting
All right,
warm
let's
back
not
there
talk
in
about
jeans.
men who pee their pants. Let's talk
it
about
looks
the
like a little
brawl.
water spilled or something.
Let's talk about
in
the
the back.
brawl that took place. A blood-shedding brawl.
Well, we should
What
talk
is
about the
going on?
beginning of the brawl, which didn't start off so great.
Well, they tried to make it like it was like a
There were
shoot.
some
They
misses,
wanted it to
yeah.
look like a shoot fight, hybrid MMA, hybrid street fight. So they tried to play what I'll call a sloppier game.
They just weren't on the same page
a
at
little
first.
soft looking.
Yeah, the guys just weren't on the same
See,
page
I don't
at
even think it was.
first.
To me, it wasn't soft. It was just that.
It was. They weren't on this. They were not together.
No, but I even find like when you look at indies or when you go around the wrestling scene, like there's a lot of guys in the indies who love the Japanese strong style of wrestling. But a lot of times when you come to America and these guys try to do that strong style, those stiff hits, they don't look better because the guys don't sell them like they don't sell them the same way. Because if I'm going to sell a wrestling punch, big expression, jerking head, if you get hit in the face, your sell's going to be more of. Some of them. You're gonna
Yeah.
look. It's not a sell. It's a look of anger. It's
Yeah.
like, "Ugh, you just freaking hit me. So it didn't look so clean. But then after that whole mess
It got-
around,
yeah,
then
it
all of a
tightened up.
sudden, boom, head into the ring post, and we got some busted up heads of Brock
He was
Lesnar.
already bloodied before his
Well, there
head
was
went into the ring.
it was the
post,
shot before. So yes, Triple H.
No, they put him in twice
He
to
hit him
the
twice in the pole.
Yeah, so
it was
the back of the head on one.
Into the pole, and then
the second,
front.
and then the second. So he got blood on that first hit on
Yeah.
the post, and we were like, "Holy cow!" He got busted open that definitely hard way. And then Triple H just grabbed him, swung him into into the corner again, and it looked like he just dove head first into that post, and it just left a splat because it wasn't the same blood from the opening hit.
No, that was new blood. That was a new cut.
I mean, and
that just gushed from there.
At that point in time, they weren't cutting around it. For that first minute of blood, we were getting blood on WWE.
They were trying to, though. Like, they cut off his head in a lot of the shots.
Once they cut off his head, then they started cutting around it.
But there was about
those first
20 seconds before they really started doing that.
Normally, it's really quick that they pull away, or we've seen in the past where the trainers come down and try to start cleaning it off and stuff. I'm like, all like...
Well, there was. I mean, later in the match, they had a clear shot of it, and there was blood all down the right side of his face.
I mean, he was legit. He was busted in like 2 spots.
Absolutely.
Legit strong, open wound. I mean, the brawl keeps going on, and in the end, Triple H, huge spine buster on Brock. Triple H getting the best of the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Triple H even had some blood on him, but not his own blood.
It wasn't his own blood.
And where was that blood?
It was on. There was some on his lip. There was some on his cheek. Yeah.
And he licked his lips, man.
Oh, did he? I didn't notice that.
Yeah. How's that for spreading a little hep?
Martin. But yeah, man, what a start! We got blood. We got Heyman dropping A-bombs. Like, this is not looking like the PG era anymore.
No, not at all. I mean, I even thought Limp Wuss and Biggest Puss was a little much for WWE television to start off. To start off the show.
Right.
I mean, Attitude Era. Everyone, Attitude Era's coming back.
No, it's not. And it doesn't need to come back.
You got Vince, Heyman, Triple H, and Brock Lesnar out there.
Oh, you mean the main eventers get to do something different than the general rules?
They're from...
Which is fine in my mind, too.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't have a problem
He's
with
like,
that.
what you saw me do that night? Don't do that. Don't lick people's blood on your lips.
Sorry, it smells really bad.
It smells funny back here.
What are y'all two?
What kind of smell?
us.
What
I
kind of
don't know.
smell?
Cupcakes, huh?
It smells like man here.
I'm smelling popcorn right now.
Yeah, I'm smelling something coming in too.
I'm smelling some popcorn.
No, these smell good.
These smell good.
Second match of the night because action is just continuing. I mean, we're on fire tonight. The pacing is just rapid fire. Ryback and Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, man.
What do you think about this one, man? Because Ryback once again showing dominant force, right from the get-go.
Yeah, it looked very like
one-sided.
Very one-sided, and it seemed like Ryback was fighting in a way I guess a heel would fight. Like he was just throwing him down and standing over him. But I mean, that's Ryback.
Are they turning him heel? You think?
There's been talks and rumors,
and there's been a couple little kind of hints here and there.
It's interesting because I think there's some issues with the WrestleMania card that they're going to try to figure out. I mean, the card's really not put together so much. And, 2 weeks ago, we were like, oh, WrestleMania 7, we got plenty of time. But we're getting into it. We're a month away or so.
At the end of this, right?
So, yeah, I mean, interesting. The interesting thing about this match, commercial break. We come back from the commercial break, and Ryback's got Dolph in that huge stall suplex, holding it for we don't know how long he had it before commercial.
But what they should have done is had him put it up before the commercial.
He could have always taken a break.
Black, then say, hey, put it down. All right, we're coming back. Put it back up. So it looks like he's been holding him there for 5 minutes.
No, I agree. But
That's what they should have done.
Held him for a very long time. Not something you really see. I don't think I've ever seen a suplex held that long on WWE television. Usually,
not for a really long time.
No, usually get like a 10 count or something. I mean, that was a long time. Finally goes down. Ryback on the outside at one point, and Big E Langston, complete with high cut and low cut singlet, bulldozes over Ryback. I almost lost the little F-bomb right there, Jackson.
Yeah, you know what? I was just thinking too. We were talking about a power lifters group, possibly with Ryback, Big E, and Mark Henry. They all kind of wear singlets, don't they? Yeah. So they all kind of have the same gear. So I mean,
awesome.
Throw Big Zeke in there, even though he wears trunks, though.
Make him wear a singlet, too.
I was thinking the more, dude.
Is there any other bodybuilder you could throw in there besides Big Zeke?
Nah, but I was...
if PTP is breaking up because if Darren Young's supposedly hurt, you could throw Big Titus in there.
He's really
tall. He is tall.
The other guys with the short, stocky, muscular.
Right. Or more the bodybuilder, power lifter look.
What was it? Kurt Angle, Charlie Haas, and Shelton Benjamin had their Olympic team.
It's like the fire plugs.
And then you have those three. Man, that would be unstoppable.
The more I've been thinking about it, I think it's a good idea that they should do a new Nation of Domination.
I like it. I like a new...
And it could be the United Nation of Domination.
I think they need a new stable. They don't have really haven't had a real big, powerful stable. I mean, I guess the Shield kind of is...
Yeah.
Shield
is what it would be now, but I would like to see a traditional stable.
Yeah.
And maybe something like the new Domination.
AJ was pissed off in this match. I know I'm going to get tweets and messages saying, Cathy, Kaori, why don't you guys talk a little bit?
Because you're overwhelming.
I know I have a dominating personality, but
I'm a little intimidated over here.
AJ was looking pissed
but he's
during this match.
fedorable, remember?
He is. I was reading the chat roll.
Fedorable.
Yeah.
That was your word, isn't it?
No, it's
No,
Kathy's.
that's Kathy's.
all right.
I stole it.
I mean, you made a comment about AJ's look during that match where she was just giving the snotty little. She was angry.
I mean, she is pissed. She seems pissed off like 90% of the time
I think
now.
she's pissed that she lost that main event spot that she was in.
Squatting 200 pounds though this week is what she said.
That's amazing.
She says it.
Yeah.
That's a
Isn't
lot
that
of weight.
amazing?
That's a lot of weight for a 115-pound girl.
I don't need it.
Compound movements.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I was having trouble with that weight not all that long ago. So that's a lot of weight.
What's your all-time squat max, Josh?
Do I look like I do that? I mean, I do.
Yeah, you
I'm
do.
at 270 right now.
I put 45s and 25s on that. What is that?
That's on a good day.
185.
Oh, yeah.
I could do my weight. I
And
squat my
is that
own
one
weight.
time or?
No, I could do maybe 5.
Okay.
3 to 5.
All-time.
I was squatting today. I did 220 for 5, I think.
315 all-time max for me.
You listeners out there, do you
Hey,
lift?
Josh,
I'm 270
Josh,
currently.
when I weighed 135.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
What was it?
That's 50-something pounds ago, guys.
Yeah.
So you're 135 pounds. You did what?
315.
That's big because your squat is supposed to be, I think, 1.5
All right, we're off
times.
topic.
All right.
Oh, Martin buzzed us.
Martin.
We're talking about lifting.
Can it be about us right now, Martin?
But it's about weightlifting, which is kind of about wrestling,
After that
right?
Biggie Langston bulldozer, Dolph finally took over in the match, started getting some control, started getting some offense. But it didn't last very long. AJ did distract the referee, so Biggie Langston could distract Ryback. I've got a lot of ahs going on. So I'm thinking a lot of names in this match. Ryback ends up hitting Biggie Langston off of the apron. Langston didn't really want to take that hit, it looked like, on this one. He goes down, and Ryback ends up hitting that backpack slam. Oh, wait, excuse me. Biggie, yeah. Ryback hits shell shock on Dolph. It's over.
Yeah.
It's over, man.
And AJ was standing right there. I think she was in a bad position. She could have grabbed his leg when he was marching, but she didn't.
And then Ryan was like, man, this is the guy who's supposed to be the future world champ, and he just gets jobbed out all the time.
I mean, he's the one
lost a lot lately.
But what did I say? He's not
always
necessarily.
loses.
Who said he's supposed to be the future world
But
champ?
I mean, he's got that Money in the Bank, so I mean,
That's a
it's
gimmick.
I know it's a gimmick, but still, I mean, he feels like he loses every week.
Yeah,
They
that's
need
the
to
match.
tease
Come
that
on,
more
man.
because when they teased that when was it, last week? That was so good.
Well, they've been teasing it quite a bit. I mean, he's had that now for what, 7 months, 8 months. He's had that briefcase since I think it was
The Money in the Bank pay-per-view.
When was
almost
it?
a
Was it
year.
July? Was it July that I think
April,
was
May, June. I think it's 1 or 2 months
July,
after
okay,
WrestleMania.
I can't
I'm
remember
not
exactly
sure.
when it was. I'm sure people are going, "How do you not know that?"
Yeah, because Raw 1000 was in July, and Cena put his Money in the Bank against,
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
against
So it
Punk.
would have been like June, May, June.
Yeah.
So he's had that for a while. You know, I would like to see them, honestly, him not cash that in till the pay-per-view is coming up for the next Money in the Bank, and it starts getting to the point where he's under pressure to cash that in, and so maybe he comes frantic trying to cash that in, and it's not working. You know, to the point
that'd
where
be cool.
is if he doesn't get it done by a certain time, he loses that contract because he's got a year. You know, we've never seen someone come to an expiration
Correct.
of that. So maybe we can push this past Mania to that point and see something a little bit different with that.
We don't want to see a second person unsuccessfly cash in.
But
Money
no,
in the Bank.
I mean, maybe he cashes it in, but he gets it at the very
frantic.
last second,
Yeah.
as like tomorrow it expires and he gets it the day of, or you know.
Could be interesting.
I mean, there's interesting things you can do with that.
Yes, Kaori.
Well, I know you don't like predictions, but I'm guessing
Who
AJ's
said I
gonna.
don't like predictions?
You know, Christian
did say that last week.
because there was one time you said something like you wanted prediction. You were like, ah.
No,
And
I just
so-
mean I personally don't like to predict.
I understand that, but he's now taken and saying, well, Smiley
no.
doesn't like predictions.
No, I like when people
So-
predict. I don't like to predict because I just like to go with what they give me.
Oh,
kind of.
I completely understand that, but Christian's turned it into this whole gimmick about how you hate predictions. So, I think I think everybody thinks you hate predictions. now.
Predict away, Kaori.
All I was gonna say
Sorry, Kaori.
was that I have a feeling that AJ is gonna dump him because he's losing so much, and he's gonna end up using the Money in the Bank out of desperation. That's what I think.
But if AJ dumped him for that reason, that would turn Dolph face.
Yes.
Which you think that they're trying to do. Right? Aren't they?
Oh, I thought you were looking at me like I thought the way you said it, I was like, well, you're stupid. That's what they're gonna do.
No,
I don't
feel
see
like
them separating them this early. They haven't been together that long, right?
Yeah, but AJ's,
they've been together like 2 months, 3 months.
Yeah, I mean that's.
I guess beginning of January.
That's nothing.
Oh, well, I guess, yeah.
I don't know.
In this
It's a
fact
lot
that-
for her.
Yeah, I mean
she's a
it's
masochist.
a short. It would be a short relationship. For that, and I think there's a lot more legs in
Maybe
that
I
one.
just want them to break up.
Yeah, you got to get Big E out of there. I think it's messing
Yeah.
up the whole AJ Dolph dynamic. You
I hope
know,
next week the singlets cut even lower for the chest and
Yeah.
higher for the waist.
yeah.
Where is it going?
I love AJ
trying
and
to show
Dolph
off a happy
together.
Belly button.
He's trying to show off a happy trail, man.
I like AJ and Dolph together, but we've never truly gotten to see it. Big E came in like a
Yeah.
second week in,
It's
and
a convoluted little-
completely messed up their dynamic. I think they got to get him out of there. They've got to get him on his own thing.
The cult of personality, Sans Championship, makes his way to the ring. CM Punk saying, people will have you believe that tonight is about the epic match of Cena versus Rock. But tonight is about what's more important than that. More important than The Rock, more important than WrestleMania, more important than the championship, because tonight is about me. Not me, CM Punk. Like, I'm me. Yes. But if I said CM Punk, it wouldn't have been as effective.
No.
Tonight is about me. And then he closes it with a very powerful line because he drops to his knees and says, he dropped the Malice. Do you guys watch Malice, the movie? Alec Baldwin back in the day.
Oh, Ben.
Because he
forever.
dropped the I am God. Yeah, Malice had the famous God complex line. You asked me if I have a God complex. I say, I am
yeah, I've
God.
seen that clip. Yeah. I didn't know what movie that was from.
Malice is fantastic.
Was that Nicole Kidman?
Yeah,
I remember
fantastic movie. I mean, this was good, strong promo as usual
Yeah,
by
always
CM
solid.
Punk. I mean,
always solid.
one of those guys that it's tough to find things negative to say about him. I mean, he seems to come in, week out, and he exceeds and raises the bar. Exceeds expectations and raises the bar every single time he steps into the arena.
Which validifies Heyman.
Did CM Punk is God really need to be trending on Twitter, though?
I agree. It's kind of,
Yeah, but as we know, what's that mean? There's 50 people put it
think
on
it's
Twitter.
A
I mean, it
1,000
doesn't.
people. Yeah.
It doesn't take
1,000.
much to get things trending, as we know.
find out who the celebrity inductee into the Hall of Fame is
good
going
one.
to be.
Yeah.
It's the Donald. Mm-hmm. It's the Donald.
Not bad for this one. I would have liked to see Cyndi Lauper as well, but I mean,
Donald was the host of WrestleMania 4 and 5 with Trump Towers. Been involved in the Battle of the Billionaires.
I saw something someone put, and I don't remember this one, that he was involved in WrestleMania 7 as well. I didn't look that up. and they
I mean,
didn't
a
talk
ton
about
of
it.
involvement in WWE all
I don't
through
know
the
what
years.
that
Always been a
involvement was,
fan. Always respected. Vince McMahon is a businessman. They've
Yeah.
always had a friendship, partnership, mutual
Absolutely.
respect and relationship.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, I got into wrestling at WrestleMania 4. So, I mean, I remember Donald Trump always being very interconnected in wrestling.
How about the footage in those clips of a young Donald with the full head of hair?
I didn't recognize him at first.
Totally looks different.
See, that's the Donald I remember.
Yeah, but not even the same person.
Yeah.
But yeah, a much better choice than Drew Carey for sure. I would say that.
You weren't happy with that one.
Yeah, well, I don't even. Like,
Is
what did
Pete
he do?
Rose? Pete Rose is in the Hall of
Yeah,
Fame. already,
Rose
right?
I think he was the first one that was
Who else,
celebrity.
Yeah, he must
who
have
else were contenders?
Cyndi Lauper is the only other one I think that's really missing.
What,
probably
Regis is already in, right?
is Regis in already?
Regis belongs in. Bob Uecker is in there, I believe, right?
Yeah, but
Could Maria be in there, or is it not possible since she's wrestled?
oh no,
no,
Maria.
the wrestling's good.
Maria
I would
will
think she would
qualify at
eventually.
some point. Absolutely,
Okay.
I would think
sure.
Maria at some point
Yeah.
would be in there.
Too young and too early for
but
her.
she's still.
Well,
I
yeah.
would.
'Cause she's
I
still
mean,
coming back to like. a
yeah,
bunch
who
of
knows? She could
events,
still
yeah.
show up again. I mean, her last involvement was just a year ago. So
I didn't write down the Fandango promo today. Where was
where Fandango was, we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
I mean, dang, I was just like, man, I got to get me some Fandango.
It was after
ready.
the Mark
People are
Henry
saying
match.
Mr. T on the chat roll.
Is he
Oh,
not-
is
he's
Mr. T
in?
not in?
I would've
Oh,
thought
my
he would've been one of the
goodness,
early ones in, too.
He should have been him and Lauper, because they were both WrestleMania 1.
I know Mr. T's agent.
And you know
pitiful.
why Cyndi Lauper should be in there? Because she was part of that whole rock and wrestling connection,
Absolutely.
which literally launched the WWF, which then became the WWE. If there was no Cyndi Lauper, who knows if wrestling's even the way it is today?
And she looks at Captain Lou Albano as a father figure
Yeah.
from all those
I mean,
days.
the MTV
Legit. Like, she talks about it in interviews to this day that she's like, no, like she spent a ton of time with
Yeah.
Albano and they became very close.
That whole MTV WWF connection was very big in the 80s, and she was a major star that brought a lot of eyes to wrestling.
I agree.
Yeah, very surprising.
And
she'll be there eventually, though.
I love Time After Time.
Yeah. And I mean, was it Raw? And they just had her this summer. You know, Roddy Piper presented her that plaque or whatever that she slammed over Heath Slater's head coming into the Raw 1000 thing.
yeah.
So it would have been top, current to have her there as well.
Time After Time.
Great song.
Mark Henry taking on Great Khali, a battle of the big man.
Yeah.
Human glitch.
Human
That's what she
glitch.
calls it.
Khali had a strong start though, man.
Khali with some big chops in the corner.
He was aggressive. He was strong. He was tough. He showed some spark of charisma. And then he threw Henry out of the ring, and Henry got control. And from that point on, that was it. Henry
He had a
brings him back in.
whole bunch of different looking chops.
I don't know how Henry even got up after the chop to his head, though.
Chop.
But then Henry hoisted the Great Khali up, carried him around the ring, hoisted the extra momentum, brought him down for the world's strongest slam, because that's what he does.
Mm-hmm.
He hurts people.
That looked like it really hurt
as
Khali.
you said, Khali looks like he's hurt just walking down to the ring.
I mean, Khali had so
right.
much pain.
Oh
man.
my God, yeah.
It's tough to watch just because it's not tough to watch because of his ability. It's tough to watch because this guy is suffering.
Yeah, man.
through
I hope
everything
he's
he
on the
does.
DDP yoga. When DDP was in, we had him in last April. He said that when he saw Khali pulled him to the side and asked him to work with him on some stuff. Hopefully he gets on that because it seems to be helping a lot of guys.
Yeah. And Jericho
he
talked
could
about
use
that
it.
a lot in his interview, which if you haven't seen it, it's awesome. It's up on YouTube and it's an hour long. Very rarely do you get to see interviews that are, it's pretty good.
And
So,
he's actually very
check it out.
comfortable just hanging out here, just kind of
I like when he
chatting
plays
with
the,
us.
when he plays with the pillow.
Oh yeah.
Hugging on the pillow.
Yeah, we're friends now.
Did you guys watch the Oscars last night?
Okay, Josh hugged. We need to talk about this because you tweeted
Josh
about
was
it. I think.
so giddy first off when Jericho walked into
Oh
the
my
room.
He was
God.
like a
He was so
5-year-old boy that had
crushing.
a crush on his babysitter.
That has never happened to me before. I've met like so many A-list celebrities out here in LA. Never. But then I walk in and see Chris Jericho. I'm like,
So the interview's over and we're all hanging out in the hallway talking. Jericho's
Josh
involved.
leaves.
Josh leaves and we start joking. Oh, Josh is so
you
adorable.
started it, you.
Josh is so adorable. He's such a super fan. Blah blah blah. And then Josh comes running in. At least wait till I leave. And he hugs this first girl who's talking. Okay,
First
goodbye.
girl was
I'm
Winter.
outta
It was
Winter.
it was Katie Lee.
And then it
Katie Lee
was.
We had
Burchill.
Rosita.
And then
Actually,
Rosita
was
next
here
to
from
her.
TNA.
And then all of a sudden he looks at Jericho. He's like, "Yeah, you too." And just gives Jericho a big hug.
He hugged down the line purpose. He didn't care about hugging the other two. He was going after Jericho, so he's like, I'm going to start the line hug. That's my target, though.
All right. Did you guys see the Oscars last night?
No.
Did you
I
see the
did.
award that won Best Straight-to-DVD Movie?
No, I didn't even realize that that's an award now.
No, it's not, but I was going to just segue into the Marine 3 Homefront, which is now available starring The Miz.
Actually, you know what, though? That would actually be a pretty cool award from the Oscars, like a direct-to-DVD award. What's the best movie that didn't make it to the theaters, even though that's what the Oscars is about, is theatrical releases.
this is the best movie that wasn't good enough to be in theaters.
Once in a while, you'll get a gem that's
didn't have the
wasn't
funding.
released. It's,
Yeah.
Miz
or
starring in the
politically or what?
movie. He looks like a tough guy in this movie. He looks credible as a soldier from the trailer and the clip they showed, I thought.
Everyone's got movies now.
Everyone does have movies now. Ryan, do you got a movie coming out?
I don't know, not currently.
Not me either.
No.
I do. It's called
What?
Serial Buddies. No, I'm kidding. But Marie and Kevin do.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
So
they
you better
do.
check out the
Theatrical
trailer.
release.
Yeah.
Yeah, coming out.
When is that releasing?
In
That's-
March.
March 8th
Okay.
in 6 cities across the nation. So you can go to serialbuddies.com and find out all the info, and you can actually pre-order your tickets.
And what are those 6 cities? Do you have them memorized?
Yes, it is New York, New Jersey, Chicago, San Francisco, and LA.
Wow.
You know, New Jersey's a state, not a
Well,
city.
I think it's Jersey. It is Jersey City.
Okay.
So
Okay, Jersey City.
Yes.
Gotcha.
I meant locations. But thank you for clarifying.
I'm sorry. I just have to give you a hard
And if you
time.
can't make it to the theaters, it will eventually be available on DVD,
DVD.
and Blu-ray.
Oh.
Yeah.
How do you know that, Ryan?
Maybe because I did a little authoring on it. Yeah.
People in the chat roll are saying that we're doing cheap plug after cheap plug.
It's one of those days.
How many people are in the chat roll right now?
113.
Wow.
Ooh, more, you guys had more than last week. You had 107.
Miz TV featuring Alberto Del Rio and Carter Rodriguez facing off against the Real Americans of Zeb Coulter
you
and
skipped
Jack
over
Swagger.
the Fandango premiere.
This Friday on SmackDown.
Yeah,
and Johnny Curtis, he tweeted earlier today, like at 6 o'clock on Eastern Standard Time. He was like, #Raw.
Well, that
I was
really
like, oh,
You
debut.
should get up and dance. We don't have enough dancing in this studio.
Maybe we can get the women to show some dance.
A good ratio.
They're like, call my mama.
That's very funny.
The Bumblebees. We'll call them the Bumblebees.
As we go into hour 2 of the broadcast with this episode of Miz TV, let me remind you to go to iTunes where you can rate, subscribe, comment. You can check out all of our archives of past shows. You can give us 5-star ratings. You can tell your friend to go watch, subscribe, do it all. And then when you're done with that, and after you've listened to all the archives, then go over to YouTube and watch all the archives.
Because that's your duty as a real American.
Real
As
American.
Zeb would say. And yeah, he unloaded a lot of the same stuff.
Where you can see the lovely Cupcake Kelly and Kaori in real life instead of just hearing them.
Oh, we're already on Zeb Coulter and Jack Swagger.
I'm not.
We the people.
We the people.
We're trying way too hard.
Controversy, man. This was supposed to be like the big angle. Everyone actually thought. I read rumors that Stephanie called all the writers into the office after midnight Friday night to rewrite the script of Raw to like make disses at Glenn Beck. It didn't turn out looking seeming that way because they only mentioned him once and that was it. But it was. Everyone was thinking it was going to be like the Stan Kroenke episode of.
Yeah.
People mentioned him more on Twitter than they mentioned him in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, they kind of ignored it. I have a feeling.
Yeah, I didn't love this.
I didn't love this either. Too much politics. And
yeah, way too much.
I'll take the. I like the political statements of the
but it
Real
was
Americans.
Like, how long were they out there? 10
Absolutely.
minutes?
So when you get the 30-second bit on why immigration's bad, the 30-second bit on jobs, the 30-second bit on economy, it's effective use of politics that makes it interesting,
he had like
intriguing.
A 5-minute promo on
This was a legitimate political debate with legit political agenda.
Not in the way they were doing it. It did not work for me.
In the end, Zeb said to Alberto Del Rio that he represents success and encourages millions to sneak across the border, and they all fail at what they're trying, and then they stay in America. You know, and he's not a happy guy about that. Neither is Jack Swagger. We the people. Mm-hmm. And then Alberto Del Rio says, "The time for talking is over. It's time to shut up." And he says, "This is the greatest country on earth because it belongs to everybody." The Alberto Del Rio super baby face is hysterical to me. "And you are hiding behind the Constitution. Are you kidding me? I don't like bullies. And if you have the cojones to do something, make us leave right now."
The best part was when he called Zeb a big mouth.
Yeah.
What an awful comeback. Like,
You are a big mouth. You are a big mouth. And essentially, Swagger doesn't want anything to do with the little confrontation right now because he says, we will see you at WrestleMania. We, the people.
There you go, Jack.
Ryan's been saying he wants Jack to talk more.
I do want Jack to talk more, but
they don't want to expose the list, man.
Yeah.
They don't want to expose it.
And he
well, I mean, they were trying to have him talk before, and I like the fact that Zeb is there, but I want him to throw some one-liners out here once in a while.
Now,
Boom.
How is this? You guys
can
in the
hide it.
business. Like, how did he not lose his push after this little debacle here with the marijuana?
Mainstream press trumps all, baby.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting all this play with the Glenn Beck situation. The angle itself is all over all these talk shows, blogs. Yeah. There's just too much traction.
The fact is, he was caught with a little pot, I think, in the scheme of things.
In theory, that's still a 30-day suspension and a $2,500 fine. So.
Unless only if they catch him through their drug testing policy. So my guess is he peed in a cup today.
And that would be the interesting, because you would think politically then that they would then institute their test right
immediately
there.
test him, and if he's clean, then That's does it fall? Even though I think the arrest does fall under where they can fire him. Technically, I saw something, but
because technically, because of an arrest due to drugs, they have the right if they want to release him like that. Doesn't mean that they have to. It's just in the policy that they legally
but the fact is,
can do so.
Cameron got pulled over, had a DUI, lied to the cops of who she was because they were going out on a tour, and like said she did some other job. Completely lied to the police.
And this was alcohol?
This was over the summer, yeah.
But unfortunately,
and she was still on the tour, and nothing happened to her.
While she may have broken the law and being over the legal limit,
there was no federally banned. It was no federally banned substance.
Right,
I
marijuana is still illegal, and you can't deal with it.
Right.
So, and it sucks for him because if he is an avid smoker, I mean that's going to stay in his bloodstream for a while. So I mean he's going to be peeing green for the next month or so, potentially.
But it's weird that, I mean, if we're gonna that whole conversation, that someone would be doing that because crazy because these guys get tested all the time. I know people out there and they're tested every 3 weeks sometimes. It's crazy how much they.
It's just like the guy from the Ascension. Like, all this talk was he was the next. The Ascension was the next to be brought up from NXT. They're coming up, and then makes a stupid mistake, has an issue with the law, does some stupid stuff.
He actually beat up a police officer.
He did, but he made a bad decision, just as Jack Swagger did.
Done.
But it's crazy that these guys who are put in a situation where their dream is coming true, and essentially they self-sabotage.
Absolutely.
There's going to be some guy in every single decade that's going to try to cheat the system. They just, I don't know.
And it's a tough, their system is a tough system to cheat.
Well, because there's so many people that even give up alcohol, and they're more committed, and I don't know.
Yeah, their medical testing is really intense.
I've heard, yeah.
And there's no, I know in football, when you watch Playmakers that exposed the NFL many years ago, TV show, that have the thing when you take the piss test, and there's many different techniques, and there's Wizinators and things.
Right.
Can't use that in WWE because you're peeing full frontal in front of someone. They're watching you from the front as your pants have to be below your knees.
Oh my God.
Well, and the fact is too, I think those things are random. I mean, they can just be like, you come here, and so those Wizinators and things you have to have ready. I mean, I think those things have to be installed. You have to know you're going in.
Do you know if they have a time limit? Like if they do test someone, they can't test them for an X amount of days.
No,
they can test them as much as they want.
I think they can test you a certain amount of times a year. I think I saw that something like that. Like they can test you 12 times out of the year.
Saw a limit in my contract.
I could be wrong on that, but I thought that's what it was, and so they could test you every 3 or 4 weeks.
Mine said you're subject to random testing at any point.
In other companies, it's after you've been tested, you can't be tested again for another 30 days. So.
Yeah, I know people that have been tested and then were tested again a couple weeks later. So I mean, yeah, I know they're very serious about their testing policies.
They're not making you drop your drawers right in front of them. This is a funny little
intense,
world.
Man.
That is wow.
And it's all
creepy dude watching you as you pee in a cup.
I mean, they were pulled. They were pulled in front of Congress during that whole Chris Benoit thing. So I mean, they're very serious about it.
And then in the contract, so let's say you get some stage fright and you're having trouble peeing. Then in the contract, it states that they will feed you a bottle of water every 20 minutes until you can go. Woo! Yeah. It's crazy stuff. Raw Active getting some play today because we got a little action that took place during the commercial break.
I wonder if there's a flash poll. And if you want to hear a great story about a flash polls, go check out our Chris Jericho interview.
Yeah, because he tells the writers to go F it and all that stuff.
Suck it and go F themselves.
Zeb and Miz had a little verbal confrontation, and then boom, Jack Swagger comes out from the back, blindsides the Miz, setting up a match for later this evening. But the match we're getting to right now is Antonio Cesaro, the United States champion, taking on the WWE's Apex Predator, Randy Orton.
In a non-title match, so what does that mean?
That means Cesaro's going down.
Yep. Non-title match, champ loses.
He's going down. I mean, I'll tell you what, the match itself was good because it's always going to be good when you got two top-notch professionals right there.
I liked all his European uppercuts he was throwing in succession there.
Yeah, there's never bad stuff to say about Cesaro.
Both these guys are amazing.
Orton's great. I mean, Orton has a... it's gonna come. The word I'm gonna use is gonna come off so negative, but he's the only guy I think who makes it work. He's got a boring factor to him, but there's something about his boringness that's almost exciting.
I know what you mean.
I think it's just because he's so cerebral and methodical. It's methodical.
That whole Viper thing is really a perfect name for him.
I think it's weird when they pair these two up because they look so similar. Like they have the same build, and they also have the bald head going on.
Cesaro's got a hairier-based chest,
but from the back,
and no tattoos.
And then
he's much whiter, much paler.
On SmackDown, they had Cody Rhodes versus The Miz, which looked like the same two people, one with a mustache and one without.
Yeah, sometimes it happens. I mean, you can't. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So it looks like an evenly match.
Cesaro climbs up to the top rope. Looks like he's going to go off for his jumping European uppercut. And in midair, boom.
RKO.
Out of nowhere.
And oh my God, the champion.
That's the name of the move.
I love it.
That's what Michael
yes,
says.
RKO out of nowhere gets the win. I don't know if this is setting up a long-term feud, but because
it was a cool match.
I don't think this is setting up anything between Cesaro and Orton, because Orton's involved in something else later in the show. That's what he's really involved in.
Right.
So
and Cesaro's not really. Who is he? He just finished.
Finished with the Miz, so he doesn't really have anyone right now.
We got no one for WrestleMania yet, but he'll probably be on the pre-show.
Yeah,
that would be too bad.
I don't think that'll happen. Team Hell No in the back, just saying, let's get along.
This was great. This was one of my favorite bits, I think, of the entire show, because we debuted a new team in this bit.
We debuted a new team.
Yeah.
Team Bricky.
Well, no, that debuted.
Yeah. Or last Monday, right?
Yeah.
Did they do Bricky last week?
Yeah, I heard Bricky.
Did they call it Bricky last
earlier
week?
in the week.
Oh, I didn't really pay attention.
This is the first strike of Team Bricky.
So essentially, Team Hell No versus Primetime Players, and Kane tells Daniel Bryan that he could beat him with one hand tied behind your back, and then Bryan's like, "No, you can't. Yes, I can. No, you can't. Yes, I can. No, you can't. Yes, I can. Excuse me." And then the managing supervisor of Raw and the assistant to the managing supervisor of Raw, or the assistant managing supervisor of Raw.
He's the assistant managing supervisor.
Brad Maddox and Vicky Guerrero, a.k.a. #Team Bricky. These guys are great.
Female viewership up 35%, I think, once Maddox was on that.
Female
Brad
demo
Maddox.
right here.
I got the numbers.
Our hits on the Jericho up 62% in the female demo, Josh.
Brad Maddox is awesome.
He is.
He's so funny.
Entertaining guy.
Very entertaining. I'm definitely loving the Brad Maddox.
And then every time that Vicky wanted to say something, Maddox just interrupts her and makes it like it's his. It's his thought and statement. He's entertaining. He wears tight shirts. That's Brad Maddox. Daniel Bryan told he's going to wrestle blindfolded, and he's like, "What? I'm not going to be able to see."
Which was so funny that he kept saying that over and over.
Yeah, because that was the point. And we go off. Coming back from commercial break, we're going to get Sheamus's Oscar snubs.
Yeah, the bully Sheamus out here again.
Yeah, I agree. The bully Sheamus. There's absolutely no reason for him to pick on Wade Barrett like that.
Right in my parade.
The guy that goes, "I used to be made fun of because I was fat, and now be a star and not a bully." And then he calls out him and makes fun of him.
So I'll tell you what, when you first brought up the point about him bullying them, I figured the making fun of the movie isn't bullying. There's teasing. It's teasing, and there is a difference. At the end of the promo, he made a comment about his nose. That's bullying. I mean, there's a big difference.
But why even bring it up? Like, for me, this should, like, if we're gonna go there, Barrett needs to have started it. Sheamus is picking a fight.
Let's explain.
And Sheamus is picking a fight by being an ass.
So Sheamus throws up a clip of Dead Man Down up on the screen. In the first trailer of the movie, Wade Barrett's nowhere to be found, even though Wade Barrett's supposed to be co-starring in the movie. So then Sheamus is like, "But I got a second clip." And he pulls up a clip, and it's just Wade Barrett in the background. He's in the background behind Colin Farrell and this other guy. And Sheamus is like, I didn't even realize Colin Farrell was in this clip until someone told me. You know, just making fun of the fact that Barrett's got nothing going on in this movie. He's a glorified extra.
And like, guys, I have a big problem that Sheamus is going after him unprovoked, completely unprovoked. There's no reason the babyface should not be attacking a heel unprovoked like that.
He reminds me of like a dickhole jock
being a dick.
that you knew.
Yeah.
But he was nice to you. Like, he was friends with you.
But guess what? That's the same thing The Rock does, and he's a face.
Nah,
The Rock's a dick to people, too.
Yeah, but he, not in the same way. Like, Sheamus just... Sheamus just completely called out Wade Barrett. They didn't really have a program going on. They didn't have anything where Barrett did anything for him to get on Sheamus's radar. Sheamus is just like, oh, you have a movie? I'm going to come out and make fun of and piss on your parade. I'm jealous of your success, so I'm going to come out and be a jerk. It's very, very heelish, and I don't like it.
And then Barrett
I don't like it, damn it.
And Barrett came out saying exactly that, saying it's just envy seeping out of your pores.
I agree.
You're jealous of me because I'm going to star in a major Hollywood blockbuster. And then Sheamus did.
My problem's the writing on this. You're having the heels act face and the face act heels. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, Sheamus had his bully moment to me here because he's like, make sure the paparazzi gets your good side, but looking at that nose of yours, I don't think you have a good side. That's definitely a bully moment to me. I mean, the other stuff, I'm okay. It's picking a fight. He is a pro wrestler. Yes, he's a good guy.
But at the same time,
and his whole gimmick is I'm Sheamus and I like to fight. He's got Finley's gimmick. I mean,
and I agree with that. But Barrett should have put himself on the radar instead of him going out picking a fight by being an ass, not by going, I want to compete with you. He goes out, finds something to make fun of him to get. That's a heel move. That is not what a babyface does.
Last time they showed the movie, the trailer for the movie, Sheamus just came out and he was like, oh, that looks like an amazing movie.
And that's where it started, but it was once again Sheamus picking the fight.
But I feel like last time it wasn't even really a fight to pick. Like I
had a problem with that too.
Really?
I had a very big problem with that bit last week. Yeah, it made no sense. I did see that part last week, and it made absolutely no sense that he once again, I was sitting like, what is Sheamus's involvement? Why is he picking a fight with Barrett?
This is a man of reason. Do not go after him.
Logic, people. Logic.
Cody Rhodes and his love stash take on the returning R-Truth with Damian Sandow on commentary.
BFFs right there. I love their bromance.
Who came up with that nickname?
What's that?
Love Stash.
That's Cody Rhodes.
I know. I know. I don't like it.
But here's the thing: weren't these guys separating, and then they were together again on the pay-per-view, and now they're out?
Just not a team because they have individual goals, but they're still best friends.
I think they were like trying to separate them, and then this is like there's a little backstepping going on.
Yeah.
Good match. Decent match. Not great. A little off, a little mistimed.
Well, I think this is
coming off of some
an injury, and as I was saying to you, I don't think it's something to the the regular fan that would notice it. But I could he was off like a quarter step a little bit. You could just tell there was some things here, a little bit of rust on R-Truth. It'll shake off in a couple weeks, but you could tell he hadn't been in the ring for a minute.
Yeah, out of the whole action-packed night, like the Del Rio Zeb Coulter thing, I liked the least, but this was the most forgettable match of the night for me, for sure.
I think the chemistry was off a little bit, but I think part of that's just as we know, you're not in that ring for a minute. It takes time, to get back in. And I don't know that he was down at NXT working at all, trying to work anything out. I hadn't heard that. So I'm guessing he probably hadn't been in front of a crowd in quite some time.
Maybe.
Who knows if he had even trained or practiced in the ring? Who knows?
I don't think it was a major injury he had. I believe it was a deep, crazy cut. Like, I want to say he skinned his knee, but it was gross.
Like a really bad,
like he was like missing like a chunk of flesh or something. But like it was, I don't remember what it was exactly.
I don't remember what it was.
We get another pre-recorded promo from Zeb and Jack from the Real Americans, talking about how they took our jobs. South right there.
Get out!
They took our jobs. You can go check it out online. More of the same. I like them in these little short
I do
segments.
too.
These are better than the in-ring stuff.
These like 80s, late 80s, early 90s style little segments.
I like it.
I agree.
Team Hell No taking on the primetime players. Kane with one hand tied behind his back. Daniel Bryan with a blindfold on his head. I love that they call it a blindfold when it's just a sack over his head.
Yeah.
I mean, they should call it a sack over your head.
So I know that this is supposed to make him not be able to see, but could he not hear too?
Well, there's a very loud arena. It's very hard to hear.
It didn't.
You try to hear when there's 15,000 people screaming at you.
And Titus and Darren were playing off with the.
And if I can be serious, here's something else what'll happen in that situation. When he's in that, because of the heat of the lights and because of him being active, he's going to sweat a lot, and that sweat's going to actually fall into his ears and give him like that water in your ear hollow sound.
I feel like there was at one point though the referee was within 6 inches from his ear, and he was like, "What? Like."
I think it's credible that he couldn't hear. It was like so loud.
And this is funny. I mean, it's Daniel Bryan too.
Suspension of disbelief.
And that's the whole thing. It's like, what? I don't know. I can't hear you. You know, it's part of the comedy of Daniel Bryan. Yeah, it's the goofiness. It works for me.
Kane with a one-handed chokeslam over Darren Young to end and win the match.
And I liked it. I enjoyed the beginning with Daniel Bryan almost trying to put Charles Robinson in the no lock. And like, no, I'm the referee. I'm the referee.
He pats his hair.
And he feels the patch on his shirt. And
it's my favorite part in Bloodsport when Frank Dukes gets blinded and he does the face.
Oh yeah.
And then moves the ref to the side.
Bloodsport, great movie.
I love Bloodsport.
Great movie. Josh doesn't like it.
Are you kidding me?
I know, right?
I didn't grow up on it, so this is like a movie.
How do you not like Bloodsport?
How do you not like Frank Dukes?
I will talk to you about my reasonings behind it.
Frank Dukes.
Like, put up your dukes.
But he's acting like he's been blind his whole life.
What was the guy, the killer's name in that?
Chung Lee.
All
right, we're going up to all right, the Shield, baby. The Shield. It's always got to get worse before it gets better.
This was awesome.
They are the most efficient, most effective, and most dangerous unit in this industry. And they solved the John Cena problem.
You got a lot of claps from that, too.
By defeating the Super Squad.
How'd you like Mr. I want to say Tyler Black, but Seth Rollins?
He was good
because you're always kind of crap on his mic work a little bit.
A thumbs up him today. He did a great job today.
I enjoyed it as well.
Had strong aggression, flowed with a natural and believable vibe.
Probably heard you
Still
a
kind of
couple
sounded
weeks
like
ago.
Punk, though.
I mean, you can't change his...
You can't change your tone, voice tone.
Who he is.
But I liked it.
Yeah, Seth. We defeated the Neanderthal
and
Ryback.
Roman, I think, is the most improved on the mic. He's getting better and better. Like he was good. I agree with you. He's going to be the breakout of that group. You said it when they first came out. You said watch that guy and.
Sheamus, I got the eye. Sheamus comes onto the ramp. They have a little exchange and essentially challenging them to come up to the ramp and take him on. Reigns and Ambrose roll on out, start walking up the stage, but then boom, sneaking in from the back, commentary
like a sniper
side.
hit.
Orton hits a RKO out of
nowhere.
Boom on Seth Rollins.
And gets out of there, which I loved. It was perfect.
And then into the crowd.
It's a sniper hit.
And then into the crowd.
Into the crowd.
You gotta love
it. Was
all of them using this crowd stuff.
What would Sheamus have done if all
distract
three of
him, snipe him out?
Oh crap! Dude.
Yeah.
All right, fine. Let's do it.
But I like that too. You know, then Sheamus went away and they went after him. It was like, it was a total plan. It was a total distraction.
Based on you saying that, why wouldn't they have all three gone out to why would have Rollins stayed in the ring for that moment?
Well, see, this is what I got too. Is like those two left, and Rollins is like maybe the track behind and getting out because they just got out. They were all really close to each other.
Because I don't think Rollins even I think he just stayed in the middle of the ring.
He did, but they literally just got out. No, he was at the ropes, I believe. I believe he was at the ropes
and then he
with
turned
them,
for it?
And then he turned around for it.
Right.
So I think it was pretty quick that maybe he was getting out. I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch it, but it didn't bother me.
The Real American Jack Swagger takes on the Miz.
I am a real.
He should be coming out to that, man. I think that would be the craziest heel. Like if he could, the heel heat for him coming out to Hogan's Real American song. It's
okay,
amazing.
Let's. How much of the arena would actually know what that music is these days?
They'd still know.
Do you think everybody? You think 50%, and then they would just explain to everybody that's Hulk Hogan's music?
Yeah. Even if they didn't explain it.
How dare you be at a wrestling event and not know what Hogan's music is?
And tell me if I'm wrong on this, because I've gone back now and watched some of the old WrestleManias, and if you notice, they've changed a lot of the theme songs on the new DVD, like some of the copyrighted stuff, like the Demolitions theme.
Yeah.
You can't. It's a different music than what was actually played. If I remember correctly, at WrestleMania 1, Mike Rotundo and Barry Windham, who were the tag champs at the time, I believe they came down to Real American. I believe that was their music before it was Hogan.
Yeah, because
Am I correct on that?
Because Hogan was coming out to dun 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 dun.
And I think that was.
And then all the kids gather around Hogan, and he's on the playground, and they're like, "Yeah!"
Because I think that was their music, right? At WrestleMania 1, and then it switched. Yeah.
Dun 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 dun. milk.
But you're right. I didn't know that it was on WrestleMania 1.
I believe that was their theme music first, right?
I knew it was their theme music.
But you can't go back and find it unless you find an old version of the WrestleMania.
I probably have at home the original Coliseum home video
of WrestleMania.
#1.
We're gonna have to.
Not at home here. Sorry, home in Illinois.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, parents' house in a box somewhere.
Oh yeah. Next time you go home, you'll have to find that
in a box. Belly to belly on the outside by Swagger on Miz. Strong. Eventually, after
I would have liked to see the overhead, but I guess I complain about him taking Kurt Angle's moveset, and that would just be another one of those. So
good, actually, pretty good matchup.
Very good match, actually. Yeah.
Swagger hits the Patriot Act.
I like Swagger with the. I've always been kind of hard on him. He hasn't been one of my favorite guys. I think he's been missing something, but I like this whole thing now with him and.
Doesn't really.
Zeb helped
him and Zeb. Yeah, I like
void.
this.
He's got kind of an odd physique.
Yeah.
Like he's big, but he's got no muscles.
Yeah.
Like his chest is like flat.
I know. Like it's one of those things. Like I can imagine.
But he's big and he's strong.
He's almost like a big farm boy,
But he's got no muscle.
No.
Like or no defined muscle.
Or no definition. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what his diet is and stuff. I wonder if he's not taking any chemicals.
I mean, but he's a wrestler. But he's more of the wrestler. So I mean, I think his looks fine.
Yeah, but even when you go to that, amateur wrestlers are usually jacked. Especially an all-American, like an all-American national champion is usually just, unless you're super heavyweight.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I tell you, he looked jacked in that mugshot though. I had never seen a man look more tough. I was like, you bring that to Raw Monday, just oh man, looks like one of my homeboys back in Virginia.
We did talk about that a little bit.
But that he got pulled over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk other gossip though? Miz got engaged to Maurice.
He did. The House of Maurice.
Yeah.
Is he going to take her name? Yeah, Miz. Congratulations to them.
Yeah. So she's going to be Maurice Miz. Maurice Mizanian. Maurice Miz.
Eminem.
That doesn't sound bad.
Mrs. Miz.
No, sounds okay.
Mrs. Miz.
Miss Miz.
Miss Miz.
Mrs. Mizanin.
Ms.
Back
Miz.
to the match.
John Cena, interview with Josh Matthews. He says it's moments away from Thunderdome in Dallas because 2 men will enter and 1 man will leave with their shot at The Rock at WrestleMania. Sets it up nicely. Strong Cena. No goofiness. Just straight up promo and let's do this match. It's time for him. People say that he can't win the big one. It's time for him to win it.
Absolutely.
Punk versus Cena.
And
you
walked out of the room for this when they touted the Undertaker return from this weekend, which I think actually was smart because I think they probably did this to tease us to make us think because everyone could we get an Undertaker return here tonight? And so I think that was a little bit of a way to make us question that. I think that was the reason for that. Mm-hmm. When they purposely weren't going to give us the Undertaker.
No, I believe one of our fans actually, Chris Mingle, had a scenario. I gotta be honest, I liked his scenario. I thought it was
made
pretty
sense.
good. His version, I'll say, because I thought it was pretty cool. He thought that in Rock Cena, you were gonna see at one point the lights were gonna drop, and everyone's expecting the Shield. So boom, and they come back on, and it is the Shield came in and jumped in, and then boom, but then all of a sudden the lights would drop again, and when they came back up, Undertaker in the ring setting up that.
Yeah,
comes back to claim.
Interesting, fun scenario, fantasy booking.
But we don't know the Undertaker is even going to wrestle at WrestleMania. There's been no confirmation for that. I have heard that this match that he had this weekend was almost him seeing if he could work a match because it's been he's had a couple surgeries he's coming back from, so it was kind of a question mark to see.
Yeah,
so we don't know yet.
He's got lots of shoulder issues going on.
And I think Josh just said he'd like to see him, and I almost would feel, there's probably 1 or 2 more matches in the tank for him at WrestleMania, and let's make them all mean something to be special. If he needs a year to heal up and get himself in shape for another one, let him take the year. I'd rather see him take time than come back out of shape.
Technically speaking, has The Undertaker ever missed a Mania, or is the streak consecutive?
I don't think it's consecutive.
You think there's been a year where he's been gone?
I think there has been a couple. Because it's 20. What WrestleMania are we at right now? We're 29, right? What WrestleMania did he debut at? It would have been like 7 or 8, right?
I don't remember.
So right there, add 20 to 7, that's 27, 20. So there's 1 or 2 missed.
It couldn't have been 9. That's way too late. I'm not good with
I could be wrong. Once again, how do you guys not know this off the top of your heads?
No, I'm not a stat guy like that. But this Punk versus Cena match, dude, it was off the chains.
I'm gonna try to find it.
I mean, this is better than like any pay-per-view main event I can remember in the recent.
This was up there. We had the Jericho Punk match 3 weeks ago, which was a main event pay-per-view quality, and this may have topped it.
This was sick. Tons of just back and forth action. Both men looking great. Both men getting in some offense. Both men looking strong. Tons of just counters and false finishes. And there must have been 8 times where we thought it was over, and we're jumping up in our seats in the back. Oh! And only getting the 2 counts.
I mean, 15 minutes in, or with 15 minutes left in the show, we were saying, oh, there must be another.
We thought it was another segment coming up.
Right,
we thought it was going to end earlier. The match couldn't have gone that long.
Right, because the match was already like 15, 20 minutes in. We're like, oh, there's going to be another big segment. But this thing went the entire end of the show. It's like a 30, 35-minute match, right?
Yeah, Punk counters the 5 moves of doom, ends up hitting some tope suicida, suicide dive, rocks a Manica. Let's see. Counters Cena's side slam on the 5 moves of doom with the headlock takeover, locking in the Anaconda Vice, and then Cena reversed that into the STF. Punk slips through that and locks the Anaconda Vice on again. Then it's reversed by Cena into like a modified Cena crossface at that point,
During the commercial break, he got him set up in an AA, and Punk reversed it into a nasty DDT.
Yeah.
They had that on the WWE Active. But this is playing on the whole thing. Punk has Cena's card. He's got his number, man. It's amazing.
Cena in the corner. Punk comes charging, hits a huge knee to the face that made us smart guy. We had to go back, and we thought he legitimately took his face off with that knee. Maybe illusion of camera angle, because Cena really didn't give the if Cena legitimately got hit, he would have at least given one of those wipes and checked, because he would have had that teary nose or eye. But he didn't do that. So just beautiful work of illusion right there, because it looks sick. Cena hits a sit-out power bomb. Cena hits goes up top, hits his back of the knee leg drop. We're thinking it's over at that point, because Cena never hits. He always misses that move. Punk kicks out on 2, and everyone's going crazy. Then all of a sudden, CM Punk's able to counter and puts him up into the GTS. Hits the GTS. Cena kicks out. Cena's somehow on the outside of the ring. Referee's counting for a count out. At the 8 count, Cena makes it back in the ring, and the crowd's going crazy. Gets stacked up for a GTS again. Gets hit with GTS again. Cena kicks out. Unbelievable. Super Cena in full effect. Cena counters the GTS with an STF. Punk into the ropes.
Oh, was that the STF or was that the actual?
We already did the crossface one, so that's the STF. Okay. Punk to the ropes. Punk ends up hitting a pile driver.
Whoa!
Yeah. When is the last time an actual pile driver? I mean, there's probably been one since the Owen incident, right?
I was going to say the Austin Owens probably the last, with the exception of the occasional tombstone.
And these guys probably have no idea what we're even talking about as far as like the Owen Hart incident.
Lawler ever hit one in one of his rare matches.
Incident? What we're talking about with the pile driver?
The pile driver. No, go ahead about the Owen.
Back what WrestleMania? Or was that a WrestleMania? No, it wasn't. It was a pay-per-view, I think, right? Owen Hart gave Stone Cold Steve Austin a pile driver, and Stone Cold slipped when they were setting it up. So when he actually pile drove him, he actually dropped him on his head,
broke his neck,
and broke his neck. Stone Cold was paralyzed for a moment.
Stone Cold still won the match.
And still won the match.
Yeah. What?
It was weird. You'd have to watch it to see, But yeah, it was a really scary moment. Like Austin thought he was paralyzed for life.
So this is
after that moment. So it's a banned move now. You never see him in the WWF.
It's because it was reversed. It was face into the crotch.
Yeah, it was like a sit down.
It was tombstone position, but then he jumped with the sit out power.
It was a different.
It was made illegal because of that incident.
Well, it's dangerous move.
It's
very dangerous one. I mean, the one Punk did tonight, your standard one, that's a little bit more safe.
It's not as bad as it's made out to be.
Says the fan who's never been in the ring. safe this is compared to.
Everyone in chat row saying Owen Hart in SummerSlam '97.
There you go. That's what it was.
Okay, and I've gotten a couple messages here from our friend Raven Travis Berry, who once again, whoever can, who I forget who it is that always complains, but Taker missed Mania 10 and 16.
Gotcha.
Are the two he missed.
So then there's no issue if he misses this year.
Right.
I was just saying,
And
if he hadn't missed, then you can't miss.
I just got another one. Lawler hit a pile driver on Michael Cole 2 years ago.
That's what I said. I think Lawler had hit one.
But a safe one.
Right. So now here's my issue with this. Pile driver is this banned move. It's this incredibly dangerous move.
We haven't seen in how many years.
It's amazing that we just saw Punk hit this pile driver. But then Cena kicks out on two, and essentially it's meaningless. It's just, we completely just took away the aura of that move. It is no longer dangerous. It is no longer cool. It is no longer a finisher. It is no longer a career ender. It is no longer life-threatening.
Unless we can just push and forget this happened. You know, I mean, just and we'll do it again in a couple months.
I would have rather them not pulled out the pile driver or sell that the pile driver is death.
I completely agree.
Yeah, like beat Cena
selling anything.
And then, like, next
no, they no-sold the move completely.
No, I mean, it almost felt like to me that's something that Punk just pulled out. It's the main event. It's Raw. It's Punk versus Cena.
Maybe. It's possible.
And, you know, sitting back,
I don't think
watching it
WWE
again.
works like that, though.
Right, but CM Punk does. And it doesn't mean he can't just pull that out in the middle.
Works like that with ideas, not necessarily.
But it doesn't. But you never know. He's vibing a 35-minute match out there.
That's a taboo thing. That's one of those things that he would have had to have been.
And he does it on Cena too.
But you never know. This one time, did he just do it? We know Punk has the ability to do that.
No way. I don't think for 1 second that that's the case. But you know, that's opinion and speculation.
Yeah, absolutely. I would speculate that almost he did do that and that he threw that in. I could be completely
wrong. Would this be something that the two of them
but I would think if you and CM Punk sat down
in the agents meeting,
he would have agreed with you.
That's all part of the expansive finish of falses. That was
it could have been
totally worked out.
You're right.
In my opinion. Punk goes up to the top, misses the Macho Man elbow. Cena hits the Cena Conrana into the Attitude Adjuster. 1, 2, 3. John Cena's going to WrestleMania.
Cena wins.
I like the finish.
I thought it was a great match. Great finish. I had no problem with the finish.
And as I said, he said I don't love the fact we're getting Cena Rock 2, but since we are getting that, I like the way they've gotten this there.
He got over his hump, his Moby Dick with CM Punk.
Exactly. He got him clean. He's going in. That's a really good analogy. He was kind of his Moby Dick, or the person he couldn't beat.
Twice in a lifetime.
Twice in a lifetime. And I'm not a big fan of that we're doing twice in a lifetime, but now that we know we're going to get that, this was a good way to get there. It was a good story to get to that point.
But this time, the title's on the line.
So we got Rock and Cena for the title. We got Brock and Triple H.
Mm-hmm.
We got...
Or supposedly. I mean, that's not official. But obviously, they're setting that up.
Today was the setup, so that's
Del Rio Swagger.
Unofficially official. Mm-hmm. Del Rio Swagger, and that's it.
What are they going to do with Punk until then?
So now we have no idea what's going on with Punk.
Right.
We have no idea what's going on with Ziggler. We have no idea what's going on with the Shield.
Or Ryback.
Cesaro. Wade Barrett.
Maybe Sheamus and Wade Barrett are getting something. I mean, they're setting something up there, but
then
I'd rather Bo Dallas Barrett be going on.
It seems like we're gonna get Sheamus, Jericho, and Ryback, or Sheamus, Jericho, and Orton, or something versus the Shield.
That's what everyone's saying. Another 3-man tag team.
That's what we're gonna get because they don't want to split them up yet. But it just seems it's not the right place for the Super Friends. I don't think.
Yeah.
And then just still we don't know what we're doing with Dolph. There's a lot of...
No one really seems that enthusiastic.
Nothing about Maddox. Nothing about... I mean, there's just nothing about everybody.
I don't think Maddox will have a match. He's going to be out. He's got Team Bricky, and he'll have a skit.
But just nothing... There's nothing established with the exception of the main events.
Yeah.
Everyone's going on the pre-show.
Nothing on Cesaro.
There's going to be 6 matches on the pre-show.
Who is Intercontinental? Wade Barrett's still IC champ.
Yeah.
Nothing with Kofi.
You know what's going to happen next week on Raw?
A lot of people don't have...
What?
Next week on Raw. Raw's going old school, baby, and so are we.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to pull out the old school costumes, and we would appreciate your suggestions. So you could tweet us at #BarOldSchool, #BarOldSchool. And you can You can tweet, or you can just tweet us individually.
Or both.
And
Do
you can
both.
give your suggestions. You got anything in mind of what you're thinking? Or?
Well, I did last time. I did.
You were Barry Windham.
Barry Windham.
And the rule is you cannot repeat characters.
You know what I actually who I get compared to a lot, and
that?
I may have to do old school was our old guest here, Chris Jericho. I may have to go with the old school
you
attitude.
could do the Lionheart.
I could do a Lionheart Jericho. I might have to do that. I'm not quite as blonde.
Top pony.
Yeah.
Not funny.
Nah, I might be able to get some. You may have some flashy stuff I can wear, right? To do some Jericho. I don't have any clothes.
Me?
You? Me? I'm gonna have to go raid your closet.
My closet? You mean my closet of sequins, lace, leather,
Oh my
silk,
God, yeah.
fur? Who are you thinking right now?
I got.
He was macho last time.
got
He was
something in
macho,
my
so
head.
there's no macho. You're keeping it a secret.
Yeah.
You're gonna kayfabe us.
You know what
as
I want
they
to see
say.
him do? I want to see Josh grow out the beard.
I can.
Shave the head, draw some tattoos on, maybe the Pepsi and the Cobra.
Cobra.
Be a little CM Punk action.
Kathy, we're thinking.
Mae Young.
Oh yeah, complete with
God.
hand.
Terrific. Absolutely terrific.
Miss Elizabeth, maybe.
Maybe we
That's
can
what
get.
you guys were saying, Miss
So
Elizabeth.
if not Mae Young, maybe we can get her in old school bathing suit style, and she can come in as Moolah.
Well, here, I would say here's or maybe a Wendy Richter or Rockin' Robin.
Could be interesting.
Rockin'
Yeah.
Robin, the sister of Jake the Snake Roberts.
I don't know who I'm gonna pull out on this one.
Yeah, you were the body last time.
That was Jesse the Body. I can do some Jimmy the Mouth of the South could be potential.
What about me?
Well, Kaori, I was gonna get there, but I wasn't
I'm
sure.
patient. I've been quiet this whole entire time.
I've been quiet and haven't made a thing about these
I'm gonna hand these
cupcakes.
out.
Oh
at the
yeah.
end.
Oh.
I want to be sensational, Sherry.
You want to? Oh, that's a tough. You got to do a crazy
you gotta
makeup
be
job.
scary,
She's
scary
a
Sherry.
makeup artist. She can do
So,
it.
Oh,
there we
Sherry,
go.
and maybe you could be Luna Vachon.
and maybe we can fight.
No. Well, you know what?
Yeah,
then
Dance off.
you know what we may have to do. We may have to remove your stipulation for Josh and let him be Macho Man again, so you can have Scary Sherry and Elizabeth because they need their Macho Man.
And they fight over the king.
Oh, you're a bad girl then.
Yeah.
You're a bad girl.
That's a cop out for Josh. No
I know,
Macho Man.
I'm gonna do something new. I'll do something
So
new.
I get to have a cool experience.
You can be
this
Macho Man
weekend.
then.
I get to spend the
Oh, yeah.
weekend with Mark Henry at the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic in Columbus, Ohio.
I want to get video of you
Nice.
being inducted in the Hall of Pain.
Right on stage.
You may not get that, but there will be video of me as Mark Henry inducts someone else into a different Hall of Fame.
That's right.
I will be shooting that. Should be a fun weekend. I believe Caitlin and Oksana are going to be there as well.
Your favorite diva of all time.
And I believe David
Caitlin?
Otunga is on the list of people who may be
Ooh.
there. So any WWE fans in Columbus, Ohio,
Caitlin I
Arnold
said hello.
Classic. I'm sure you'll see a lot of
I don't know her,
WWE
but-
superstars making a presence. Should be interesting. I'll tell her.
Where is that again?
Columbus, Ohio.
Ohio.
It's always been for forever.
Okay.
And did you know Oksana is actually a past winner of the Arnold Classic?
I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't realize that she was a bodybuilder.
Wow.
Yeah. What?
She always covers her body in the outfit she wears.
Yeah, I just thought she was hot.
No, she's a bodybuilder background. That's where
Wow.
she came from.
Yeah.
Go on.
I think she's much improved. People tell me I'm crazy when I say that.
I
but
loved it
just
when
watch.
she-
Just watch. She's gonna be good.
She called Naomi
I
like a
couldn't
couple
believe
weeks
it.
ago. Kofi. That's good. That was my.
Oh gosh.
Kaori, what's new in your world? What do you got to plug? What do you want these people to see? Where can they watch you, learn more about you, hear more from you?
You can find me at KORIOUS, and I'm the white rice
what's
on
that?
the white.
Is that new
for
music?
White
That's
on
the Hulk
rice.
Hogan music.
There you go.
Oh, oh wow.
Hulk!
Yes.
Found it.
That's power, man.
Cupcake, talk to him. What other shows can they check you out on here on AfterBuzz TV?
Check me out on The Bachelor, which is right after this. And then I'm going to do another blog post soon for these cupcakes. You can also check me out on Twitter at Cathy Kelley.
What do we got there? What kind of cupcakes? It looks like we got a white cake and a lemon frosting.
These are the ultimate vanilla cupcakes.
Ultimate vanilla.
Can I try one?
Yeah,
Right
vanilla
now?
bean cupcakes with a marshmallow vanilla filling
Ooh.
and then a cream cheese vanilla frosting.
Where's the vanilla from? Is it Madagascar vanilla?
Sure. From wherever.
Whatever you say.
Female demo, what's new in your world, baby?
You know, the old school, Showtime Josh at Twitter. Check me out. Send me any stuff you want me to ask these guys. I work with wrestlers, you know. I always have huge questions. I know you guys do too, about the industry, about the business, anything.
Cluminator. I said it on purpose that way. Reason. Where are you going to be this weekend?
You can check me out on Twitter at Cluminator, and actually, please go check out my new Facebook page, Ryan Morals, for my wrestling character. And I'm sorry, the 10th of March coming up, I will be at Alpha Omega Wrestling in Indio, California, taking on Drake Fortune.
Clum.
I have a rematch for the AIWF Southwest Championship. So
you go win yourself a championship.
I hopefully will be taking that title and bringing it here and putting it right next to yours. So
because mine's missing.
Yeah, where is yours this week?
Mine is at the jeweler's still.
Oh, still.
It's being worked on. Sam Rubin from the KTLA Morning News has said that the proper way to eat a cupcake is you actually pull the bottom part off, you rock it on the frosting, and you eat it like a sandwich.
I was talking about perfect icing the cupcake ratio earlier this week on Twitter. That seems like the solution.
You can check me out at I Am Smiley on Twitter, IamSmiley.com online, where you could actually buy my brand new ebook. It's called GQ Money's Quick 10 for 5. 10 steps to take your career to the next level. I recommend any wrestler, any established, any guy who wants to pursue this dream and try to make it with WWE. Check it out. There's simple, easy tips. I'm not giving you any crazy secrets. I'm just giving you tips that are going to help you impress the scouts if you ever get that opportunity. I think that's what we got going on. This has been Raw.
I've read that, and the information is incredibly good.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
It's some of the best wrestlers in the world have told me some of the exact same information you've got in there. So
this has been your AfterBuzz TV After Show recap for Monday Night Raw, the week of February 25th. On behalf of Ryan, Clum, Josh, Padgett, Cathy Cathy Fatal Attraction, Kelley, Kaori, Takee.
What's my new name?
The Reason. And I'm GQ Money. Bye-bye, Birdie.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.